Hello Fluff Buds, Kinsley here. So today I figured that I would sit down and basically just answer a ton of questions. Not like a Q&A style, but I know you guys have a lot of questions as to who made my fursuit, how was the process, why'd you have to wait 2 years, how much did it cost, all of that stuff. And I told you guys that I would be doing a fursuit review video, so that's pretty much what this is gonna be. Just my experience with my maker and a review of my suit, what I like about it, what I don't like about it, just things like that. I guess starting off, I commissioned my partial from Wildpup11 on FurAffinity. She is now retiring, so unfortunately you won't be able to get a spot with her, but I think she might be doing pre-made suits after she finishes up her queue. At least that's what I heard, that's what I read somewhere. Okay, so I mentioned a little bit in my Q&A video, the reason I went through Wildpup11 was because Lexi Pupcakes was one of my favorite suitors when I was first getting into the fandom, and I loved the style that her Sona Lexi was done in, and I wanted to commission that maker. And conveniently, when I was ready, when I had the money, when I was ready to actually get my fursuit, that maker was open and she was within my budget. So I figured that that would be the perfect option for me, was I could go through a maker that has the style that I love and that is within my budget. Before I even contacted her for a quote, I had saved up a certain amount of money. And I was like, okay, I'll just get a quote and see if it's within what I have saved up and things like that. And she contacted me back and told me that my partial, my head, my paws, outdoor feet paws, and my tail, she said it would be $900. So that's what I paid. I paid $900. I completely paid off my suit 100%. in November of 2014. In her terms of service at the time, I read that she would proceed with making the suit as soon as it was paid off. So I had to put in a down payment to be on the queue and then paid the rest of the suit off, like immediately after, and I was put in the queue. And I know that with artists, they are super swamped, especially fursuit makers that do a really good job. They're swamped. They have a long wait list. And I understood that. I knew that. I wasn't in too much of a hurry. I just told her that I was hoping to have Kinsley by Halloween of the following year. So a year later, I figured, okay, a year is about a good time. So time went on. She just added me to the queue. And I actually commissioned right before she was going to have a baby. So that factored a lot into it. She had a newborn baby, so obviously a lot of her time went to her new baby instead of working on costumes. And I knew that. I knew that was going to happen. So I was like, okay, I can handle this. I can wait it out. It's okay. So I wasn't too impatient. And I did contact her every few months just saying, hey, where am I on the queue? When do you think you'll start? Things like that. And she'd kind of just not really give me like a specific date or anything like that. She's just like, I'm hoping to start on her by this time. I'm hoping to start on her by this time. She started making my suit in February of this year, in 2016. So my suit wasn't even put into process until the beginning of 2016. So I was already basically waiting a year just sitting in the queue. So that kind of sucked. Also, I wanted to mention in her original terms of service is that she did not work with deadlines. So if you were like, oh, I have to commission you, but I have to have my suit for a con in 6 months from now. I need it by then. She's not gonna like work with that because, like I said, she had a newborn baby and she was dealing with hectic craziness in her own life. So she wasn't gonna deal with someone else needing to do that. So it said in her original terms that she didn't work with deadlines. So I knew that probably like a couple months ago when she said, you will have your suit before Halloween this year. She was setting her own deadline. I didn't set that. She set her own and she stuck to it, and I got my suit before Halloween. To be completely honest with you, she did do her suits out of order. She works on multiple suits at a time, and she finishes up some sooner than she finishes up others. My friend Pinkie Posh actually commissioned her later than I did, and she got her suit way sooner. She only commissioned a head though. So it could have been that she just figured she'd get the head out of the way so that Pinkie would have her in time for a con, rather than focusing on my suit, which was a partial, and it was like more work. It was considered more work. She went ahead and did Pinkie's, and I'm not like butthurt about that or whatever. I mean, Pinkie's one of my friends. I don't really care, but it was just like, it was kind of upsetting to me that she would put us on a queue and then do it out of order, because it doesn't really seem fair. Before I even commissioned, when I asked her for a quote, I sent her a list of all the specifics that I wanted. I said she needs a heart-shaped nose, she needs heart-shaped pupils, they need to be this color, da-da-da-da-da. My friend Pinkie had noticed that she went ahead with her head without really consulting what exactly Pinkie wanted, or she kind of just did what she thought was best. And I kind of took that as a lesson learned. And right after I found out those things, I messaged the maker. I said, please send me work in progress pictures after everything you do, because it's so much easier to fix the mistake before the project is all the way finished. And I shouldn't have to ask for work in progress pictures sent to me all the time. I'm paying almost $1,000 for a suit. I deserve those work in progress photos and those consent pictures. Like, do you consent to me finishing doing it this way? Like, I deserve that. I shouldn't have to ask for that. And so from then on out, she was really good with communication for me. She was always super nice. She was always super sweet. I was never rude to her. I just would ask, you know, hey, when is my suit gonna be started? You know, do you have an idea of this? You know, I never got angry or mad or impatient or anything like that. I just kind of sat back and I was just really nice about it, because I know life happens. I know things get hectic. I know life gets crazy, trust me. I have had my own times in my life where I have to drop everything because something a lot more important happens. But they also have to consider that people have already paid for this. You have to respect your customers, and if they want things a certain way, you have to cater to that. If you're going to be out of office, or if you're going to be busy and you're not going to be able to work on something, all of your customers deserve to know that. You can send them a mass email and just say, hey, I'm going to be out of work for a couple weeks. I'm not going to be able to work on your suits. I deeply apologize, but something happened. You know, it just seemed like almost, I'm saying almost, every time that she informed me that things were going hectic and crazy, I was the one contacting her first. Anyway, months passed. She sent me work in progress pictures very often. I asked for them often. Everything was good. She was very great with communication via email for me. I didn't really have any problems as far as communication goes. She responded pretty promptly for the most part. It wasn't like she went like 6 weeks without replying at all. I would either get a reply that night or within a week or two at latest. Anyway, so I got my suit. It took a 2-year wait. The only reason it really took 2 years was because it wasn't even started until this year. So technically, if it was started right when I paid, like the original terms of service had said, she has since changed the terms of service, obviously, because that couldn't cater to her needs or her lifestyle anymore. But, you know, I should have addressed that, and I should have asked her, hey, will my suit be started as soon as I pay, like it says here? But I didn't say that, so that was totally my bad for not speaking up or saying anything about it. And I did not screenshot the original terms of service. So if you guys ever commission an artist, a maker, anyone in general, always screenshot their terms of service when you originally commission, because if you're under the impression that something is going to go a certain way and it doesn't go that way, you know, then legalities can be involved, and it could end up being a huge mess if you want to take that route, I guess. So fast forward to when my suit is complete and she is sending it out. She sent it on a Saturday and I got it the following Monday, and it got to me really fast, and she lives like halfway across the country compared to me, so it got to me very quickly. She did send her in 2 separate boxes, and she, as soon as she shipped her, she sent me a email containing a photo of the receipt and both the tracking numbers for the 2 boxes. It was estimated to come on a Tuesday, but it actually came on a Monday instead. 10 out of 10 points. If I had 10 fingers, I'd pulled up 10 fingers, but 2 thumbs up, 10 out of 10 points. Her shipping was crazy fast, amazing, and she wasn't playing no games with that. Fast forward to me sitting here right now. What do I love about my suit, and what do I not love about my suit? I love that she basically did everything that I asked. Kinsley looks exactly how, not exactly how I envisioned her to look. She looks a little bit better. I had to ask me a couple times, like, do you like the eyelashes like this, or do you want them different? And I sent her a picture of like the original like eye look that I wanted. And at first she didn't put the little 2 circle highlights on there. I had to ask her to go in and add those because those weren't there originally. Even though I did send her a picture that showed the 2 circle highlights. She has little teeth and the tongue that match the nose. And my nose is mink, by the way, same with the tongue and my paw pads. There are hearts on the backs of my ears, and they are pretty symmetrical for the most part. I love them. I asked her to do them in the center where the purple and the white meet, and put the hearts right there in the center, and they turned out fairly well. The only thing that I don't like physically about my suit, like the physical appearance, is if I look directly at the camera, I know this is going to be kind of hard for you to see, but there is, I think it's this side, right on the sides of the nose where the purple is, this side is down and out a little bit further on the purple than this side is, so it shows a little bit less. And there's less purple showing between this eye and the white compared to this eye and the white. See how there's more purple kind of showing right here? The symmetry is a little off, but that is something that no one is really gonna notice if I'm out suiting, or even if I pose for photos, I'm always at the side like this. Or if I am straight on, I'm kind of like holding my nose like this, you know, so maybe people don't see. Or I'm like this. So it's not one of those things that I'm really gonna complain about. It's literally just like the only nitpicky thing that I can say negative about this suit. The other thing is the eyes don't have a lot of ventilation at all. So I'm not getting any like airflow through the eyes, and if I do, it's very, very subtle. But I do get airflow through the mouth. So this is where I pretty much breathe, is my mouth area. As far as the fit is perfect. Now, she did not ask me for head measurements. She didn't at all. So that was something I was maybe a little concerned about, but I figured that I'd rather have my head be too big than too small. And I already have a tiny head, so I wasn't really worried about that too much. There is padding on my cheeks, so my suit pretty much rests up on my cheeks, and on the tip of my nose it touches, because my nose is like right up here. I talked about this already as far as blind spots go. Can't see any of that, can't see any of that, can't see any of that, but you know, that's like with all fursuits, they have blind spots. Overall, I've never had a fursuit before in my life, ever. So I don't have anything to compare this to, but considering it is my first fursuit, even though it was a 2-year wait, I'm glad I went through the maker that I did, because she did respect what I had to say, and if I wanted to make a change on something, she was more than happy to fix it for me. It was kind of a struggle because a couple times she did go ahead with a few things that I didn't really like, so I told her to go back in and fix it. But you know, that's my duty, to stand up and say, hey, I don't like that. Not let her proceed, and then once it's all done, ask her to fix like 5 or 10 things. So don't be afraid. If you commission a maker and they make a mistake or something and they're sending you work in progress pictures, don't be afraid to speak up. You're paying a ton of money to get what you want. You deserve to get what you want. And I just want everyone to be happy with their suits. So if Wildpup11 wasn't retired, would I recommend her suits? The quality is very, very good. I love it. I feel like it's sturdy. It held together really well in shipping. No seams have popped at all whatsoever on any of my pieces. So as far as quality goes, it's really good quality. I'm not going to say it's the best on the market because, quite honestly, I haven't had a suit from all these other makers or even seen them in person, so I don't really have anything to compare it to. It's good. It's a very good quality suit. However, I would not recommend her if you are someone who doesn't like to wait and you are very, very, very picky with exact, precise specifications for your suit. Because, like I said, there are times when she's going to do things the way she wants to do them, and it may not be exactly what you had envisioned. So unless you have a sheet full with bullet points of every single specific you want on your suit, I would not recommend her. It's like a really long wait and you're not guaranteed to get exactly what you want. But honestly, this is exactly what I wanted. So you could end up like me and get something exactly that you wanted. I love my suit. There's nothing that I'm going to change about my suit. I had to add a few hair bows and accessorize and things like that, but that's normal. That's just Kinsley. You know, Kinsley wants to do that. The neck is great. As far as getting the head on and off, I have no problems. And the paws fit me perfectly. I did send in some tracings of my hands to make sure that my paws would fit me perfectly because I have really tiny hands. I was so scared that my paws wouldn't fit right. She asked me measurements for my tail, how long I wanted it to be, the shape I wanted it to have, all of that stuff. So, there were things that she asked, and then there were things like, you know, she didn't ask for my head measurements, which I thought was kind of weird. But for the most part, it was a pleasant experience other than the wait and just not knowing when is she going to start on her? When is she going to start on her? When am I going to have her? Am I going to have her by Halloween? Am I going to have her by Christmas? Am I going to have her by my birthday? I didn't know when all of this was going to happen, and I think that was just the most frustrating part about it. But like I said, the quality's good. I'm very happy with her. You guys seem to love her a lot. And yeah, so with that being said, I do want to say a huge thank you to Wildpup11 for putting up with me and all of my specifics and everything like that. I really can't wait to see what she does in the future with her suits that are already in the queue, as well as maybe make some pre-mades. So yes, Wildpup, if you're watching this, thank you so much for making Kinsley come to life. It does mean a lot to me, and thank you so much again. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're watching this video and you've subscribed to my channel, and if you're not subscribed to my channel, feel free to subscribe for more Kinsley videos. And yes, I will talk to you all in my next video. Don't forget to stay kawaii.